All right, here we go. Talked about this on the opener. Okay. The difference between oops, sorry. I always do that. Okay. Here we go. The difference between simplifying and verifying, right? Even though verifying comes after simplifying, it's actually easier. We've put the work in here. Okay. The difference is when we're asked to verify, we have a goal. We have something on the other side that we want this to turn into. They're basically saying, show me that this can be simplified to look like that. And it's kind of misleading when they put the equal sign here, because they're not saying that this is equal to that. They're saying prove. We're not sure, right, that that's equal to that. But the process for doing so still involves the toolbox. And if you've been using the toolbox up to this point, and you're comfortable with all these tools in this process, it's just more of the same. But it does become easier because you know where you're supposed to get to. So in a problem like this, where there's no square terms, there's no fractions, and there's no plus or minuses, right? We're not going to use Pythagorean identities, we're not going to combine fractions or decompose fractions, and we're not going to factor. So the only thing we can do with this problem would be write everything in terms of sine and cosine. Secant is 1 over cosine. Sine is sine, but here's what I'm going to do with this sine. I'm going to write it as sine over 1, because I already have a fraction here. So if you have one fraction, write everything as a fraction. Even those things that you just need to put a 1 underneath. And then, I'm actually getting a little too close for comfort here. I'm going to pull this over here. And then the cotangent is cosine x over sine x. Now when we look at that product, and I call it a product because it's a multiplication, I can cross cancel in these fractions, even if they're separated, right? Now, if there was a plus sign in between here, I wouldn't be able to do that. But because it's all one big product, one big multiplication problem, we have to cancel the cosines. We can cancel them even though they're separated by this guy. And then the sines are going to cancel on that diagonal. And we're not really going to cancel the ones on this diagonal because I don't want you guys to think, well, if these all cancel, is it just 0? No, it's not 0, right? When we cancel, we essentially replace each one of these with a 1 like that. So it's 1 times 1 times 1 over 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1 over 1, which is 1. Check mark. Okay, so I asked this question, what's the difference between this and this? The difference between simplifying and verifying is that verifying tells you what you should get when you're done. It's giving you a target. It's giving you an aiming point to say, show me why this can be the same as that. Use the toolbox. Okay? There you go. Let's do some more.